السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Dear respected community members and all of those who are joining us online, inshallah tonight, with the continuation of our last session that we talked about the virtue of Surah Al-Ikhlas, one of the short surahs of the Quran, the smallest chapter in the Quran, and the virtue and benefits of reciting this surah and something important about it. We will tonight, inshallah, talk about the last two chapters of the Quran. If you remember last time in our last session, we talked about the names. These are called the mu'awwadat, saying قُلْ أَعُوذُ, because when you say قُلْ أَعُوذُ, you pronounce أَعُوذُ, I seek refuge. So isti'adha, that is mentioned in the two surahs, and therefore it's called the mu'awwadat. Although أعوذ, it's only in the last two chapters that we're going to talk about tonight. So, for the barakah of the sayings of our Prophet ﷺ, as I mentioned last time, we'll go over some of the ahadith that is mentioned in Riyadh al-Saliheen of Imam Nawawi rahimahullah, and we'll go over a few ahadith regarding these two surahs. The first hadith, عن عقبة بن عامر رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: ألم تر آيات أنزلت هذه الليلة لم ير مثلهن قط قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الناس رواه مسلم. Uqba bin Amir radiallahu anhu narrates this hadith that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, haven't you seen certain verses of the Holy Quran that was revealed this night, meaning tonight, that nobody has seen anything similar to that, of what these ayats and these verses talk about, or what these verses benefit others. And those two chapters are قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, the last two chapters of the Quran. The second hadith, عن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه قال: كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يتعوذ من الجان وعين الإنسان حتى نزلت المعوذتان فلما نزلتا أخذ بهما وترك ما سواهما رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن. Imam Tirmidhi narrates this hadith that the Prophet ﷺ used to seek Allah's protection from the jinn and from the eye of the human beings, where someone spells a bad eye on someone, which is called ayn. And the Prophet ﷺ said about ayn, a bad eye is haq, is true, that someone sees something good and he is not praising God, he's not saying MashaAllah. That could happen from anyone. So from that, the Prophet ﷺ used to seek Allah's refuge and protection until these two surahs, the Mu'awwadatain or the Mu'awwadatan, were revealed on the Prophet ﷺ. So then, for all of those things that are mentioned, he used to recite these two surahs, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ and قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. There are many ahadith that talk about the virtues and the reason that why these surahs were revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. In many ahadith that the Prophet ﷺ was affected by a this hadith is in Musnad Ahmad, by the way, and in Bukhari as well, and many books of hadith with variations in the way how the Sahabi, the companion, would discuss the reason that these surahs were revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. And by the way, these two surahs were revealed at the same time. So they were revealed to the Prophet ﷺ at the same time, with the incident that is mentioned from different angles. Um, there's a hadith in Musnad Ahmad, I will mention this one in particular, that the Prophet ﷺ was not feeling well for many days, and according to another hadith within the same book, that he was not feeling well, and he would sometimes not do something or do something, and he will not remember that. So it was affecting his memory. And according to the other hadith, that was affecting him physically in general. And he said, the Prophet ﷺ said to Aisha radiallahu anha, that the angel Gabriel, Jibril Amin, came to the Prophet ﷺ and specifically told the Prophet ﷺ by his name. And according to the hadith in Bukhari, it was a person, a Jewish man, who lived in Medina, named by Labid ibn A'sam, uh, who set a magic on the Prophet ﷺ by taking some of his hair, putting knots around it, and putting it in a well. And the angel Gabriel told the Prophet ﷺ exactly where those pieces of hair is hidden in the well, and that was brought to the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ was given these two surahs at that time, and he would recite قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الناس, and he will undo them each knot and blow on them. He will unknot each one, recite it, and blow on them. And that's how he did it. According to one narration, that there were 7 knots. So he read it 7 times and on each knot, and he undid it. So this in particular, the scholars mention that these two surahs are a very strong protection from magic, and magic is also true and real. However, I want to indicate something here that is worth mentioning, that some people, when anything goes wrong or anything goes bad or things get out of control or anything bad happens to them, they assume, or they have the assumption, that this is magic. Someone is against me. Someone is doing this to me. Someone is doing black magic on me. Um, while it is true that black magic or other magic is, it happens, and do people do magic out of envy and ill feeling towards other people, just to put someone down, jealousy. These are all diseases of the heart, that could affect someone, even like the Prophet ﷺ. And it did affect him. It happened, and it's a real thing. However, a person should not always be in that kind of speculative realm where anything goes wrong, it's magic. It's magic. Anything bad happens, it's magic. And someone did this to me, and someone, you know, hates me, and that's why they're doing this to me. It's possible. It is possible. So to take out that possibility and to seek refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that this is a very strong and a very powerful remedy, as we heard from the hadith just a little while ago, that the Prophet ﷺ used to seek Allah's protection for by other means, and then once these two surahs were revealed, he used to recite these for protection. It doesn't mean that he did not say the other adhkar. He did still continue doing the other adhkar. Um, Also, another hadith that I would like to share regarding these two surahs, the Prophet ﷺ used to recite these two surahs along with Surah Ikhlas that we mentioned in the previous session. Aisha radiallahu anha narrates hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان إذا أخذ مضجعه نفث في يديه وقرأ بالمعوذات ومسح بهما جسده. That the Prophet ﷺ, when he prepared himself to go to sleep, or when he prepared his bedding that he was going to sleep on, he would recite the mu'awwadat, قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الناس, and according to some that he will recite قل والله أحد, as it is mentioned in another hadith, also narrated by Bukhari and Muslim, that he will recite these three surahs, قل والله أحد قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الناس, and he would jasada, he would um, rub all over his body. And the way to do it is very simple. Wherever your hands can reach to your body, you should do this before going to sleep. When you're about to lay down, is to recite it and blow. Start from your head, go down to your front, your back, your arms, and that's sufficient. As much as you can. You don't have to reach to every part of your body, but the major parts of your body, if you have covered, then inshallah Allah will protect you for the night and until the next morning. And according to one, that he would do that 3 times, meaning he will say it once, blow, second time blow on his body, and the third time again he will blow and rub on his body. So that's what the Prophet ﷺ used to do before going to sleep, along with the other adhkar, other adhkar. And from here we can see that the Prophet ﷺ did not abandon the other adhkar. He did the three qul, qul wallahu, qul a'udhu bil falaq, qul a'udhu rabbil nas. He blew on himself and said the other adhkar along with that. So all of these adhkar are important, but definitely these three surahs, it's very highly recommended to say that before going to sleep, and in the morning and in the evening, as we have been doing it for the past couple of days. Um, Talking of going to sleep, I wanted to just end with this very important point that I want to share with all of you, and I want you to share with others as well, is that before going to sleep, also try to forgive other people. And given the situation that we are in, we are at home for the most part, if not at all times. We are with families, siblings with one another, husband and wife, other family members, staying in one house, perhaps maybe for the entire day and not leaving home for several days. Um, that creates some sort of agitation, which is natural. You might get frustrated. There may be anxiety. There might be tiredness of just being with one another. Um, uh, that's natural. So in these days, I will highly advise myself and everyone to exercise patience, patience with one another, exercise being gentle with one another, gentleness. That a believer, a true believer, is gentle, is easygoing, is forgiving. So these qualities are very much needed in these days that we are staying at home, especially with those who are family members, to be kind, to be gentle, to be forgiving, letting go. Sometimes if one person is angry, you stay calm, let that person take out and be stay in their moment, and then forgive them and then move on. So these are the days that we need to be more forgiving and more excusing one another. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep all of you safe, all of us safe, and keep us strong in our health, in our well-being. ويسألك العفو والعافية في ديننا ودنيانا وأهلنا وأبداننا وكل شيء أعطيتنا. بارك الله فيكم وجزاكم الله خير. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.